The Devin Booker ejection last night. I don't know. But even with that, Phoenix taking it to the Lakers. And tonight, Harden returns to Houston. We have it all with this panel. Bill Plaschke, Izzy Gutierrez, Monica McNutt, Jackie McMullan. Let's go.
All right, guys, what do we got today?
We can go first on the Lakers. I'm ready.
Oh, it's shocking.
We got better tonight. Character win. Those are just some of the quotes coming out of Suns 114, Lakers 104. And Phoenix doing it without Devin Booker. We'll get to his ejection in a second. First, how do you characterize this win for the Phoenix Suns, Jackie?
It's another in a long line of big wins for the Phoenix Suns, Tony. Now, I know what everybody's going to say. Maybe my friend in Plasma over there, well, the Lakers were undermanned and all of that, but they've beaten the Bucks.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, I'll try not to,
Don't put words in my
Bill.
mouth, Jackie.
But this is a team that belongs in this discussion that we've had. There are only two teams in the top 10 in both offense and defense. You know what one of them is, right, Tony? Mm-hmm. Utah. Come on, I'm playing the game you play with us all the time.
Yes,
and the other
very
one
well.
is the Phoenix Suns. They're also number one in the league in assist ratio, and you can thank Chris Paul for that. Everybody was wondering how much Chris Paul had left. He has plenty enough left to get this team, which is a really nice blend of veterans and young players, playing about as good as anybody is playing right now. And when your big-time scorer like Booker goes out in the third quarter under those circumstances, and you still keep putting your foot to the metal and take care of business, that's a team that belongs in the discussion among the top teams.
Oh, you were doing great until you told us about the discussion. We're in the discussion, Jackie. Welcome to the discussion. Let's see, who else can talk about Phoenix LA last night? Monica, let's go to you.
Oh, Tony.
Sorry, Plaschke. I do love the stats that Jackie mentioned, but I got to go to the eye test in terms of this group. Are they going to be in the top half of the Western Conference? For sure, but do they have enough to get over the hump? I'm not necessarily sold. I agree that this was certainly a character win. Yes, they have wins over the Bucks and the Sixers, in fact, back-to-back, but it took me back to the loss to the Nets, 128-124, when they led most of that game and had a fourth-quarter collapse. So finishing today, or last night, rather, it was a 7-point game when Booker went out in the third quarter. Finishing, I think, speaks to them growing in their character.
Israel, did you see a character win for Phoenix last night?
I do. I also don't think that I know it's Wednesday, but it's not necessarily about getting over the hump. Sometimes it's just seeing from the top of the hump. And if you're Phoenix right now, that's where they are. They're just going from a team that was, I wouldn't say underrated, I was probably underperformed rather. And now it seems like with Chris Paul can be a playoff team, can be a top 4 team in the West. I'm not saying that this team has to win a championship even anytime soon, but right now this is exactly what you want to see from them. And to say the reason, I mean, you could say Devin Booker's growth, you could talk about Monty Williams, you could talk about DeAndre Ayton, but Chris Paul, man, the criticism that he gets for not getting far enough in the playoff sort of overshadows all the things that he has done. And you look at the different styles of teams he's been with. Houston, a complete antithesis of this team where it's not spread out with Phoenix has 7 guys averaging double figures. It was just a 2-man team, and he thrived there. He can thrive here in Oklahoma City. He's just a great player, and it's so much fun to watch this team grow with him.
It looked like Monica took some umbrage with something you said about the aspirations for a championship. We'll get back to that, Monica, in a second. Next, okay, Bill Plaschke maybe on Suns Lakers.
Everybody slow your roll, slow your roll. You know, LeBron scored 2.1 points per direct drive last night. That's the best of any NBA player this season going to the hoop.
Okay.
They couldn't stop LeBron. They didn't have Kuzma. They didn't have Anthony Davis. Yes, I agree. Phoenix is 15-3 since January 28th.
I put those words in your mouth for a reason.
Yeah. But Bill, you're talking about they can't stop LeBron like anyone in the history of basketball in the last 18 years has been able to stop LeBron. But please, go ahead.
Plaschke wants to stop LeBron actually by a minute.
The Lakers are also the Lakers play terrible at home because that's a horrible place with no fans. It's a big vacuum. It's like a ghost town.
It's a horrible
The Lakers
place.
will be fine.
All right.
The Phoenix will win around, but maybe that's about.
All right, just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character, Bill Plaschke. Last on McNutt, when you made that face, Israel saying title aspirations in Phoenix. Go ahead.
I mean, Izzy is right in the big picture, but I just would say that I don't think Chris Paul has the luxury of waiting time out. I mean, yes, they might not be a team ready to take the jump over the two other LA teams. Booker's got a super bright future, but Chris Paul is on the back half.
All right, but let's just be clear here. Can't we just say that the Phoenix Suns are a really good team that may be involved in the higher end? I don't think any of us are saying after tonight or last night that the Phoenix Suns should win the championship. They're a super well-coached team with a great young big man and a premier scorer and a really smart veteran. I like that combination. Isn't that all we're saying?
Can we
here?
talk about the
Me and
Booker
Iz, I think,
ejection?
anyway.
Because it was for profane language directed at a referee. Was it ejection worthy, Israel?
Absolutely not. If you watch it, it's just sort of all the same reaction to one call. And even the bounce pass that he gives Mark Davis there, which you would say maybe visually that's the reason he got the second one, it wasn't even Mark Davis who gave him that second technical foul. I am of the opinion there needs to be a 30-second clock that starts the second you get that first technical. And then you can just let it all out, because there's different variations of what our guys are allowed to get away with, especially after the first one. Draymond Green gets away with all kinds of histrionics. Just give him 30 seconds and then maybe you can do the second technical.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Panel, thumbs up or thumbs down on Israel's idea here?
No, I like that. Ollie, I would say this.
Go ahead,
10 seconds. 10 seconds. 30 seconds is too long. Give him a deep breath. 10 seconds. The time it takes to cross the ball off over the court, and that should be enough.
All right.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.